So last weekend I went to Snowshoe in West Virginia. I went to the bike park at Snowshoe and I raced my first ever downhill race. Um, it was really fun. It was awesome, but it was really muddy on race day. Like, we got up there on like late Friday night, like really late Friday night, and on Saturday we went and did some practice runs and stuff, and it was nice and dry and the weather was absolutely amazing. And then on Sunday for race day, the clouds were really low, so you couldn't see like very far ahead of you, as you can see in the video. And it was just mud everywhere. It was an experience, but given it was my first time, I'm really happy with how I did. I want to give a massive shout out to Rivers for letting me borrow his downhill bike for the weekend. I probably wouldn't have made it through the course without it, to be honest. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to go to a lot more races coming up. So yeah. First things first is you get 5 seconds when the beeps start to go. So this is me going. You got 5 seconds from when the beeps start. It was really muddy, like I said. Like, the first part was down like this double black diamond or double black ski run. And it was just muddy and you slipped and slid everywhere. There was rocks that were exposed and you awkwardly had to cross these road crossings. Yeah, it was like I was just sliding everywhere and I had to slow down a lot just to get around corners. This was a road gap. It was kind of weird. I just rolled over it because I wasn't really prepared to jump it. But yeah, as you can see, every now and again, it's very, very cloudy. It's clouds, not fog too, so it's just weird. Once you get into the trees, it kind of made it a little easier to see because the clouds kind of just parted around the trees. But it was really rocky, really muddy. It's a lot steeper in person than it is on the video. At the end of this, I'm going to put some videos in of other people finishing their runs on the very last hill, and I did not realize how steep it was until the end of my race run, but it is actually so steep. So yeah, there's people along the sidelines. Most of them were at the top of the mountain, but there's people along the sidelines cheering for you and stuff. Just up here is the first line that has a beeline with it. So if you go up that wooden plank, it's like this massive launch off a massive rock. But I didn't really want to do that, so I just took the beeline, which wasn't too bad. It's a little slow, but that's partly just me being cautious because it's my first time. So yeah, just here there's also another rock drop launchy thing, but I went around that one too because I didn't really want to launch off that either. Just here I got a bit like lost. Every time I came through that section, I just kind of got a bit confused about which line I was taking, but I eventually got through. Just here I actually crashed during practice, and it kind of somehow I managed, my brain just kind of remembered where it was, even though I couldn't recall it very well. I just kind of remember where it was, so I never really rode that again. It kind of freaked me out a little. It wasn't even that hard, it's just I got stuck and it kind of freaked me out, so I didn't do it again. So I got off really quickly there and ran, but that's like the only part I got off and walked for, so I'm really happy with that because during practice I was getting off and walking a bunch. But I actually ended up riding so much during that. Like during practice that day, that rock I did not ride. And then racing, I guess it's the adrenaline just makes you go for it. This part was really rocky and kind of slippery. I just had to kind of find my way through it. Going down and around I found was actually easier than going straight through the middle. But you did have to kind of get around the tree at the end. Just here, I'd never really ridden this section. Like, I usually got off before I even hit that rock. But I just kind of like pushed my way through it a bit. I didn't really get off and walk, I just pushed. And then I went down this sideline because I saw all the pros doing that side and it wasn't that hard. They were really small drops, but they were a little droppy. And then through here I just kind of let it go because it's kind of just straight down the hill, and there's some berms just here, which I did that. Then it goes back to being rocky and twisty and rooty, and just there I actually kind of tipped over a bit. I don't know what happened. I just know my ankle started hurting really briefly when I put my foot down, because I started to slide out a bit in the corner. I put my foot down and I probably kind of did that. But yeah, I think at this point I'm like halfway down the mountain, or maybe a little less than halfway. So this part was really rooty, but it wasn't too bad. You could pretty much just pedal it. This part of the track was really pedally. There was lots of routes and you had to find a good route through them all, but it was really pedally. And there was a tabletop just here that I usually sat down and rode over so that my legs could have a break, because it is very hard to stand up for 9 minutes, even though it's only meant to be like a 4-minute track. It took me a while because it's my first time. This part was literally just pure mud. Like, when I went through in practice, I just went through one of the puddles and it just splashed all up my leg, and I had to take my pants off before I went racing again. And then I like had to put them back on, and it was just wet and disgusting, and it was so weird, but I survived. And this is like a really weird hip jump that I just kind of roll up and over really awkwardly. This downhill, it was really weird. I couldn't do it at first, and then I eventually figured it out, and then I couldn't do it again, and I don't know, I guess the adrenaline just took over and just told me to go for it, you know. This part was relatively easy. You just had to avoid the main rocks. This part was actually, like, even on Saturday, this part was actually still really wet. Just in general, there's like one part down lower that was just kind of like, it was almost like a stream down this, it was almost like you were riding in this like tiny little stream, but it wasn't really at the same time. It was just like this trail of water going down the center of the path. It was really weird. But right around here, I remember my legs were just starting to die. I just wanted to like stop and die on the side of the trail because my legs were sore and my hands were just like dying so much. But I kept going. I pushed through that pain. And I just kept going, and yeah, just around this corner is where, like, even on Saturday it was really wet. But this part, I usually, even on Saturday, I just kept slipping out on this part, and like on Sunday I did a bit. It just wasn't as bad, I guess. I don't know, I feel like my adrenaline helped me way too much, like, to get through everything. I think I relied on my adrenaline to do half the stuff on this trail. And, I mean, that's all well and good. It's fine. I made it through in the end. So yeah, that's really muddy. So coming around this corner and then this next corner, I could not do this during riding. I did it once on Saturday, and I didn't do it in practice on Sunday morning in the rain, and then somehow during my race run I managed to do it, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I just did that, because it was so freaky because it was just so steep, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do this or not, but I ended up doing it. And then this next part, like that, from that corner till just down here a bit further, it was just really awkwardly weird. But like that part, I couldn't get it done. Like every time I tried it, I couldn't get past it. And then during racing, I somehow got past it without like putting my foot down once or twice. And the rest of the time I rode it. Most people did do the drop off the Lincoln log, but again, it was my first race. I was on a borrowed bike. I just wasn't comfortable doing it or trying it. So just here, I did fall off a little. I just slid out going over the rock, but I got straight back up and kept going. I went round doing the beeline just here, which still, again, has a bit of a drop, but it's nowhere near as hard as the other drop. It's still really wet and muddy. We are starting to come into the last part of the trail, which is actually really flowy. Like the last part was way more flowy than the first part. But this part is really rocky still. Like from that corner, that really rocky steep corner that I couldn't do till about now, it was just really rocky. That off to the right is a massive drop that some people did, but during race day a lot of people didn't do it. They still went round because it was just kind of, you pretty much just jumped straight onto grass, so you would just slid out. This part here, it just kind of got easy. It was mostly flowy stuff and corners, and yeah, eventually you came out of the woods and down onto this really steep hill that I did not realize was that steep until I finished my race and started watching people come down it. And yeah. So this part was just like super pedally. You just pedaled, avoided the roots at all costs. Coming around here, just down here there's like this rock. So you come around, or maybe it's a bit further. Oh no, it's just here. So there's like this rock. It's not really, like, it's weird. It's like a mini drop and at the same time as being just a rock. And you have to, okay, so this is off camber. You're riding down the side of the hill, and it's just like really awkward because your bike wants to go to the left into all the rocks, but you have to try and keep it in the straight line that it is. And that's the end of my race run. It was nuts, just saying. But yeah, just at the end here I'm gonna put a few videos of the pros doing their lap, and it was just like that last hill was just so steep, and I didn't even realize it, and I'm like, that's so steep. I'm like, yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching. There will be some more videos up of my dual slalom and probably this random spiel that me and my mum both had. I had one and then she had one on the way down on the chairlift at one point. So yeah, there'll be a couple more videos up, and yeah, make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on so you get notified when I upload new videos, because who doesn't love that? Anyway, thanks for watching.